Karate in the Garage tour. Is this your
Right.
first major tour?
This is my first major tour as a headliner. I've been on tour with I went on the what's the name of that? A few years back I did the BET what is it, the black college tour.
Oh yeah, okay, got
I
you.
did the I don't remember what the names of them were, but I did a tour with Game. I did a tour with Wale.
How was the experience of being a headliner?
It's different, but I think from all the tours I've been a part of, I think I learned some things. So when it was time to be a headliner, I kind of had a few tricks up my sleeve. You know, I was more prepared to be a headliner than I would have been if I didn't take the tours I did previously when I was just an opening act.
Now, the Karate in the Garage tour, why
Right.
that name? Where does that come from? Does that have something to do with the Step Brothers movie?
Yeah, it's quite organic. In the movie, there's a scene. Where John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. It's the turning point in the movie where they actually become friends. Because of course previously in the movie they don't really know each other. They don't really get along. They clash, but mainly because they don't really know each other. And I don't remember what occurred before that, but it's in the movie. They ask each other, "Hey, did we just become best friends?"
Oh,
yeah.
that's the scene.
You want
where
to do
they
Karate in the Garage? And,
okay.
From that, it just built into. That's kind of how our relationship worked. There was almost like a learning period. When we first met, we didn't know what to expect from each other, and after a while, after recording records, the musical bond grew into a personal bond, and that just fits. Of course, not all the wild shit that was going on in that movie, but of course, that's pure comedy. But I think our situation was kind of like that. That was the point where we merged and we could get along collectively, and like I said, we became more like family, and that's just a great metaphor to use, so to speak.
Now, what was it? 43 dates on this tour?
42
or
43 sanctioned dates. Of course, we had a gazillion spot dates before that, but when we put it together and we orchestrated it and put the routing together, we wound up with 43 days straight. Maybe like I don't even know how long I've been gone. I've been moving around since March. I ain't really been home since March.
Think about South by Southwest time.
Right. That's where it geared up, and
Right.
from that, man, it's been crazy.
When I first seen the tour poster, it didn't look like there was a lot of dates at first.
It was growing. That's what happened. It was organic. It started with a few dates.
Yeah, it looked like 10 to 15 dates on the poster, and then I look another couple weeks, and it's like another 20.
It exploded. And even with that, I had to readjust because I'm a father before I'm anything, and of course it took me away from my kids for a little while. I have to look at that like it's work. My job is not a traditional job. I don't get to go, not like that's a privilege, but I don't get to go and work a 9 to 5 and come home to the kids. This is one of those things I have to do, and that's the greatest part about me being independent is I get to dictate when and where that occurs. I don't have to follow anybody else's schedule. I get to keep what's important to me in close perspective. So,
how often were you able to see your kids during the actual touring? Did you take some breaks to go spend time with them, or did you just stay on the road straight?
It was hard. FaceTime for the most part was how I get to see them every day. I had one day my
so many
dates,
so many
calendar
places,
ain't shit. So after the Nashville date, we did a Nashville show. I went home for a day. I got to see my kids for a day, and then we just did what the hell was that? Cleveland, Mississippi show, and I went home for that day. So out of maybe 40 days, I got 2 days at home. But today's the last day. I don't know when this airs, but
But you're in Atlanta, and this is the last tour date.
Right. So I'm about to go home and turn the rapper button off for at least a week to spend all my dedicated time with them.
I know some musicians, they take their kids or their family on tour with them. Some have the luxury of doing that, or some have maybe they make that a choice to do it.
Well, my kids are old enough to go to school. To me, that's more important than being on the road with their dad. And I got 3 baby mamas. That would turn into a reality TV show. I don't really, I try to avoid drama as much as possible. Not to say that, that they're dramatic women, but all women are, so.
Sure. Now, when it comes to touring, and this was what I was going to ask you, one of my next question was when you do get home, what's the first thing you do when you do get home off the road? Very first thing.
I pick my kids up. I mean, I don't even drop my luggage off. I go straight to picking kids up. And, that varies what happens once they get in the car. I got, my kids are pretty spoiled. I'm proud of that. So ain't no telling. They can get in the car and want to go swimming or want to go to Target or Toys R Us or just want to go to the house. So, that varies what happens from there. But that's the first thing I do.
Now, with touring, what's your biggest pet peeve with touring? What bothers you the most about it, if anything? Is it being away from your family, or is it something else more than that?
That's the only thing that really bothers me, actually. It's just that, I can't touch my kids. And, my oldest is 8, and my youngest is about to be 2. So, it's amazing the things that the kids pick up on. That, even though, like I said, I got an 8-year-old, the 2-year-old still amazes me. And certain things, I hate to miss, and it seems like it seems like when I get back, no matter how long I'm gone, they're bigger, they're smaller. It seems like they've learned so much since I've been gone. Other than that, I can deal with, to me that's just the grind. It's it's me being fortunate enough to be my own boss. They say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Something like that. I don't know how the saying go, but
that's not really work.
Right. That's not really how it works, though. Because if you love what you do, then you gotta work that much harder to accomplish what you're trying to do. A job is just a job. I mean, you can go in a job and if we fold boxes, that's what I do. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna fold boxes. When I clock out, I don't have to fold boxes no more. I get to go home and do whatever I do until it's time to go back to work the next morning. With this, when you love what you do, that clock don't cut off. You got to do that all day. It is what it is. And I just have to, not so much have to, I think I've done a pretty good job at accomplishing such, but balancing being a father and being an artist, I think I've done a pretty good job with it.
Now, is merch a big deal for you guys on the road?
Merch is more important to Lito than it is for me. We just got 2 different aspects when it comes to that. He's really great with that too. I'm just not. I don't know. I don't care about that kind of shit. I mean, I know that helps when it comes to the monetization and stuff. But I do enough shit that I don't really have the luxury of focusing on merch and merch designs and all that crazy shit. When it gets to that point, then so be it. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But right now, that's I don't really get too concerned with it.
I see.
But Craig go hard with it. So
now, top 3 road necessities. When you're traveling, top 3.
For me, I have many necessities. I'm a simple man. Of course, I need water.
Okay. 2 more.
I need candy, or I won't be able to function.
I saw you have Starburst on the road, the all pink edition.
Yeah. I'm with it. Let me see. I don't know. My third name, I guess my phone, just to,
Very simple.
Yeah.
Not a diva.
No, not even remotely. When I'm on the road, I don't do the, even when we can afford it, I'm just opposed to it. I'm more into, I want to keep as much money in my pocket as possible. So, a lot of times we can afford to do the 5-star rooms and all this shit when we stand. Sure. But, I'm not on the road with my woman, so, I ain't no need for that. I don't need amenities. I'm cool with a courtyard, Marriott or some shit, man. We thugging, we grind it out. And, when I'm on the road with my family. So, we close-knit anyway. That's how we grew up in the same household. As kids, we shared the same bed. So, I I don't really need all of the extra shit. The way I eat is simple. I don't eat everything. I don't eat weird shit. We just keep it as simple as possible. I do all the fancy shit once we get home to the kids, and.
Sound like a promoter's dream right there.
yeah. I don't need nothing. I don't need the liquor. I don't,
No rider?
They try to bring me drugs. I mean, I got a rider, but, my rider's pretty simple, too. I don't need all of the extra shit. I want my money. Whatever you was going to spend the money on, don't just give it to me.
I see. I got you.
We good. I don't need all the extra shit.
Now, Diddy fell at the BET Awards a year or two ago.
Say he fell?
Yeah, he fell on stage. It was pretty noticeable. Yeah,
I haven't watched an award show.
That's pretty much the last big
time.
That's the last big major rapper spill I seen on stage. Have you had any stage mishaps just from touring throughout these years? Anything that's?
Yeah, I slipped. I was standing on a speaker, and it wasn't as balanced as I thought it was. And I stepped forward and tried to step back, and the speaker was further away from the stage than it was when I initially stood on the speaker. But that was after the show, actually. I don't know if somebody caught it on camera or not. I don't really give a shit. I'm human, it happened. Well, I regrouped. I didn't injure anything, so, I was good.
Did you play it off, or did everybody see, hey?
No, they saw it. I don't get no shit. I'm sure we've all fallen before, so, I dug it out, I fell. You see I fell. I got up, I was all right. Fortunately, I was all right.
Now, I seen on TMZ a couple months ago, Ja Rule has smacked a fan for throwing a beer can at him while he was performing.
Well, that fan deserved it.
Craziest fan encounter that's happened to you so far?
Man, I don't want to make people feel too. I don't want to make it like all my fans are weird, because I love my fans, but sometimes it get a little strange. I had all kinds of shit happen. I don't do drugs for some apparent reason. When I tell people that and they trying to offer me drugs, they don't really believe me. But I had a guy try to give me wax, and when I told him I don't, he was saying, I don't know I don't know all the terms, but whatever he was calling, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And he kept saying, I'm like, man, I don't know what you mean. And he says, wax. And he pulled it out, and he was trying to, he had like a fucking blowtorch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I don't know what you want. But, where I'm from is crack era, so, you see you pull out a blowtorch, my mind goes somewhere else. Other than that, I had a girl try to give me some powder, actually. It was quite involuntarily. She was sitting beside me. It wasn't my girl. She wasn't with me. But, she was sitting beside me, and I was turned away. I was talking. They had sat in, it was a girl on each side. They sat to take a picture. They stayed a little longer than they led on. But, I turned around, and I don't know who I was talking to, but when I turned back around, she had an ID, and if I would have turned around too hard, I'd have been Rick James, man.
Now, you don't do drugs? I never knew that.
No, none whatsoever.
So when you're recording, when you're performing, no drug use?
Nothing. When I'm performing, I just need like 7 gallons of water. When I'm recording, I don't need shit. Maybe some candy. Other than that, I don't need all that. I think I got enough shit going on. I don't need to be intoxicated in no shape, form, or fashion.
Have you always been like that throughout your life?
Yeah. I tried to drink when I was 11. I tried to smoke when I was 11. And, I'm a firm believer that you can do anything, but you can't do everything. So, and those are some things that's not for me. I don't knock nobody that do it. I got a family full of alcoholics and drug addicts. No, I don't mean in the most negative way, but
sure.
Life is life. And I got a few family members who turning life around, actually, who've become clean from being addicts my entire life. Well,
Now, you're in a very small club of rappers and musicians, really, because, even like with rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that's a big power statement, right?
Yeah. So I dig the sex part, but,
So many musicians use drugs for creative purposes.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Quite a bit.
Not your thing, huh?
No. I think I've never been under any substance, so I mean, not to toot my own horn, but to toot my own horn, I think I create pretty craftily without being intoxicated.
What happens when you're in a recording studio and you're doing a feature or collaborating with somebody, producer, another artist, and they are indulging in maybe smoking and stuff? Do you ask to not have that going on?
I could tolerate weed smoke, and like I said, I grew up with that. I can't take cigarette smoke. I insist that you take that elsewhere. All the other shit don't really bother me. You know, what you do is what you do. I've been in some sessions with some artists. I ain't gonna do the name game.
Sure, yeah.
But I've seen some crazy shit. But you know, the way I rock, man, I do what I came to do. I ain't never really been one to kick it unless I know you personally. And when I mean personally, I mean if I don't know you outside of music, then you know I'm not coming to the studio to really kick it. I'm gonna come and do what I came to do, and you know, I'm gonna fraternize as much as that is needed. But other than that, you know.
And that's another question too, because when it comes to fraternizing, networking, that sort of thing, drugs is always something that helps.
Yeah, that's one of the things that
and people use as a default to get to know each other.
Right. That's the icebreaker that I don't
icebreaker.
have. You know, I don't have that luxury. So you know, when I meet people, I don't, you know. There's no instant bond with anybody, with rappers, producers, or whatever, because you know that would be the thing. That's the thing that draws all walks of life together. Because you know everybody smokes weed right about now.
Yeah, sure.
And you know I don't smoke shit, so you know when they had
Do you ever feel like left out? Do you ever feel like outcasted or peer pressured too? Like you know, somebody hands you a blunt and it's like just hit one just to.
No, if you hand me a blunt, I'll tell you I don't smoke. You hand me liquor, I'll tell you I don't drink. As far as feeling left out, you know, I'm a, what the fuck do they call it, introvert, a hermit, all that good shit. So I can be in a room full of people, I excluded myself. I can stand right in the middle of them and, you know, I'm still in my own world. I'm aware of what's going on, but, you know, I don't gotta partake in none of the festivities. I rock how I rock, you know. I don't shun people. I don't act, you know, holier than thou or no shit like that. But you know, if it's something I don't fuck with, then I don't fuck with it. I don't shun you for it, you know.
Doesn't bother you?
No, not even a little bit.
Now, well, we talked about some crazy fan encounters there. Yeah. What's the funniest fan encounter?
I had a fan tell me that he went to school with me, and he named the wrong school. And I told him, I was like, you know, I went to Sheffield High in Memphis, and I don't mean alternative as in, you know, like behavioral alternative.
Okay.
I mean the other school you would go to if you were from that part of town it's called Wooddale. And you know, he was loud. He was like, man, we went to school together. And I'm like, maybe so. He was like, yeah, man, well, we went to Wooddale. And I was like, no, I didn't go to Wooddale. He said, yes, you did. I'm like, I didn't. He was like, yes, you did. He insisted on telling me that I attended that school. I'm like, man, I can guarantee you, I know what school I went to. And then he turned around and told me, man, you must be high. So I'm like, hey, I guess I am.
Now, another interesting thing, which it was caught on camera.
Yeah.
I seen T.I. performing, and I seen a fan, but it was a male fan, grab his ass. You know what I mean? And usually it's women that do that sort of thing. And he stopped the show and really got on the mic and said, you know, don't do that ever again, type of thing. Has that ever happened to you?
No dudes ever grabbed my ass. I don't really like, you know, like when, you know, after our shows, we take the time out to take as many pictures as possible.
Nice.
Sometimes that's, you know, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's an hour and a half after we do performing. And a lot of times people don't really know how to take the picture. Like, you know, I've had people try to put the arm around my waist. I gotta tell them, hey man, look, this ain't that. Or, you know, when they try to put their arms around my shoulder, you know, those things I'm not really with. I ain't with it for the simple fact, I don't know who's gay. And I can't tell you what your preference is. If that's what you like, that's what you like. Just don't push that shit on me, because this ain't that. If a fan was to if a woman grabs my ass, I'm offended. You know, this ain't that. Again, you know, I'm not into none of the fruity shit. But if a dude grab my ass, it'd be more like the Ja Rule situation with me. We gonna go there, because this ain't that.
I've also seen sometimes, like fans, especially the female fans, they try to kiss you on your cheek, try to kiss you on your lips.
No kissing. I've had that, I don't know why they would assume that I would kiss anyone, but no, we're not doing no kissing. I'm not kissing your cheek, your forehead, your lips, your arm, your hand, nothing. We're not doing no kissing. I give 7 hugs, but I'm not kissing you.
Now, sometimes I see when people are performing, rappers, right. I'll see sometimes, you see some guys throw some money up in the air and that sort of thing.
You talking the rapper?
No. Like a rapper's performing and somebody in the crowd's throwing money.
Oh, yeah, they tend to do that. They like, what was you asking me?
How do you feel when somebody's throwing money on maybe a song they like and that sort of thing? I mean, it's not a strip club atmosphere, right. But if, it's a performance atmosphere and somebody does that, big deal to you? Not really?
No, it don't bother me. I mean, as long as you don't throw the money at me, I don't want your money. I mean, you paid your money to come see me, so that was enough for me. It don't, it's not appealing to me. I wouldn't throw my money to anyone. Stripper is not excluded. So them throwing money don't really bother me. When I'm performing, I move around a lot anyway. So if someone on the right side throws some money, I'm gonna avoid coming back to your section for a little second. Hopefully, when I get back, you'll either be out of money or you'll be out of the mood of throwing your money. So
now, okay, this is your first the major headlining tour.
Right.
Karate in the kitchen.
Karate in the garage.
Karate in the garage. Karate in the garage, right. Yeah, now, somebody watching this, let's say they're about to go on their first headlining tour as well.
Right.
Any do's or don'ts for somebody on their first headlining tour? Anything you would suggest? Any advice there? Maybe they were an opener for a couple like you, and now they finally got their headlining gig.
I say preparation. For one, when I say preparation, I mean like the small things. People don't really pay much mind to the small things. I do, but not many people do. Like, if you're on the road, you're going to spend a lot of time in a vehicle. If you're going to spend a lot of time in a vehicle, that means more than likely you'll be eating in that vehicle. And again, the smallest things are necessities, like paper towels, hand sanitizer, your plastic cutlery, all that kind of stuff. Like that's more important than you'll ever know until you're in that predicament. If you rock like we rock, man, you should be aware of the gun laws in the places you're going. I don't do drugs, but people around me do drugs, so you should be aware of that as well. And planning, really. And, like I said, when I'm on the road, I don't pick the high-end hotels. I'm not I'm not Drake. I'm sure he's got the room to stay in 9-star hotels every stop. But, I don't have the luxury of doing such. And I got children back home. When I'm on the road, that's all I'm focused on. I'm going to do my job. And the money I make, I take home to provide.